Happy Tuesday, everyone. Now, question. We all have been warned by things, by our friends, our family members, our coworkers. For example, our best friend can warn us not to date a particular guy because he probably might be a loser, he might be a deadbeat, there's something off about him. And we tend not to listen to our friends because we just want to, see what this person has to offer. Other people can warn us not to go across the streets because if you don't look both ways, you're going to get hit by a car. People warn us to do other things that we tend not to listen, and I'm guilty of it. When people warn me about certain things, I tend to do what I want to do, and that's what happened with Shannon Sharpe. People warn him, not to date younger girls, date women your own age because the younger girls are going to come after you or come after your money, etc., etc. Did he listen? No. And he's paying the price because he got fired from ESPN and he settled 2 weeks later with his ex girlfriend who was on OnlyFans. Also, Gina Hung wrote a letter to the judge to release her ex-boyfriend, Sean Diddy Combs, victim, number three. And we're going to talk about that and why she has a change of heart now that Sean Diddy Combs is not violent. So welcome back, everyone. So that's it. So Shannon Sharpe was let go by ESPN, and I'm not surprised. He probably was surprised. He thought that once he settled with his ex-girlfriend Gabby, that he would get his life back, meaning that his job back and everything. Well, ESPN had a different thing for him, and they let him go. And I'm not surprised. I know a lot of people are not surprised by this, with this whole big scandal that this woman, his ex girlfriend, accused him of rape. She's was on OnlyFans and no longer in OnlyFans. She retired after having that 20 million. I know I would. You know, making accusation about my ex-boyfriend that he alleged raped me when there's probably no rape. It was just probably some bad role play that happened that went wrong, and she probably didn't like something that he did, and then now she called rape, and I guess he didn't want it to go to trial because maybe he didn't want anyone to hear or see or all his little dirty secrets, what happened behind the closed doors of the relationship. So what he did, he settled. To me, that was a big mistake on his part. I don't know what type of attorney that he had that advised him to do that. Me, I know that if the relationship was consensual and there was no rape involved and it was just two adults just playing around and doing freaky role play, I'm not giving you a penny. I'm not giving you nothing. Okay, I will fight this in court. And if everyone is going to hear my disgusting, dirty secret of me in the bedroom, then so be it. I will be embarrassed. It would be in a media, but you know what? Things die down later on. You know what I mean? Yes, it gets all hyped up and it's going to be on a platform and social media and stuff like that. But things die down eventually. You know what I mean? It gets hot in the beginning and then eventually it dies down. Will it ever go away? Yes, but people would still talk about it, obviously. But my thing is, he took the easy way out when he could have just easily fought this in court. Yes, it'd probably be dragged down for, I don't know, months, maybe years. I don't know. It seemed like the girl was not very bright, but she was bright because she got what she wants. She got money out of this man. You know what I mean? And he's the dum dum that settled and just gave her $20 million when he probably didn't even do anything. I don't know. I wasn't there. I was not in the sheets with them. I don't know what happened or what transparent. But my thing is, he even said that he's innocent. He's going to clear this up. He's going to clear his name, and he's going to get back to his normal routine, which that didn't happen. He lost his job. He lost that $100 million contract. He's probably just only doing his own podcast. That's about it, which that's probably best for him anyway, after all the circumstances that he's been through. But my thing is, he should have listened to Cat Williams and Monique. They warned him. They warned him on his show, Shay Shay, that stop messing around with young women. Maybe not Cat Williams say that directly per se, but he even said that, his words, not mine, that white women scare him. He loves white women, but they scare him. And he stay away from it because he doesn't want any issues or problems because he says, his words, not mine, that some white women tend to take your money, to use you to take your money, especially if you're very famous and your name is out there and you're very publicized. They tend to do that. And he was trying to hint with Cat Williams. I mean, excuse me, with Shay Shay. Now, I don't know if Cat Williams know Shannon Sharpe's relationship, meaning that if he likes to date younger women. I don't know if Cat Williams knew about that, but he gave Cat Williams get some type of inkling to Shannon. Listen, maybe you like that kind of thing, but you should listen to me and take my advice and stay away, stay clear. Monique even warned him to stop dating these young college students. Okay, you're 54. I'm just paraphrasing. That's not what she said. I'm just saying that you're 54 and you're dating a 19, 20-year-old. Why don't you date a woman your own age that will like cook for you, clean for you, rub your feet when you're having a long day, massage your back? You think a 19 or 20-year-old is going to do that? No. They're going to think about clubbing, going out, hanging out with their friends, for you to spend money on them, shopping, traveling. A 19 and 20-year-old, they're not thinking about that. Trust me, because I was 19 and 20 years old, and I was not thinking about, all that, stuff. Okay, I was thinking about just having fun, going to clubs, and traveling, and shopping, and then just seeing the world. Okay, that's what a 19 and 20-year-old should do. You know what I mean? Not just settle down and be a housewife and cook and clean and stuff like that. That's not in a 20-year-old mindset. Okay, and Monique tried to tell him, stop messing around with them. But then he said, come on, like telling her, like, what are you talking about? Like, no. So I don't feel bad for the man at all. I really don't. I feel like Gabby, she won, meaning that she got a $20 million and she didn't have to do anything. She quit her OnlyFans. She retired that. Now she had that 20 million plus, after taxes and paying her lawyer fee, she have a good chunk of change. She can do whatever she wants now. She can do. And it's just really sad that a woman like her, Gabby, can just use rape and taken away from the real victims who have been raped, who has been some traumatized, have been abused, who have been some abused by their significant other, and it just takes away from the real victims who that has happened to them. When you have a woman like Gabby who says rape when there was probably no rape involved, and that's what really sickens me, that people use that word very loosely when that word should not be messed around with. That's a serious, serious allegation that you can accuse a man for that, okay? Because people don't take that word lightly, especially if you report it to the authorities. Now, it's just amazing to me that they just believe her over Shannon Sharpe. That they just take her word at face value that she was raped, and then that's it. Same thing with Harvey Weinstein. Now, I did not follow his case, but a lot of women came forward that he was raped and he did all this to these women, and look what happened to him now. He's in prison. Okay, which he's trying to overturn all this because he said he didn't rape anyone. The only thing he's guilty of is cheating on his wife, and he was a lousy, horrible husband. That's what he's guilty of, but I don't think he should go to prison for cheating on his wife. You know what I mean? I think that he was just a scumbag for doing that and not, taking his marriage seriously and taking his vows seriously. He's guilty of that. But to put a man behind bars for something that he didn't do because a woman used that word, rape, is very scary and crazy to me. Look at what Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively, is suing him or accusing him of sexual harassment at the job, during film, during production, would it end with us? And he didn't do anything. They took her word over his because she's rich, she's famous, she has a famous husband, Ryan Reynolds, and they just went with it without any investigation, without any fact checking. They just took her word face value because she's Blake Lively. And then to just turn on Justin Bidoni that he's the villain, he's guilty, he did all those things. That's scary. That's scary to me. And then you have the real victims who's been raped, abused, God knows what. And half the time, people don't believe them. They question it, like, did it really happen? How many drinks did you have? Like, are you sure? Like, questioning the victims if they really got raped or not. You know what I mean? Basically, what's the word? Interrogating them instead of like doing, getting the information that they need from the victims and then finding the perpetrator and arrest them. You get what I'm saying? It's just so backwards to me, and it's just not right. And like I said, it's not a crime to date a 19-year-old when you're 54, 55, but what do you have in common? Like, seriously, what do you have in common with a 19-year-old? A 19-year-old doesn't have that mindset that you're thinking of, but what are you trying to get out of that relationship? Maybe something freaky and wild, because maybe in his mind that he wouldn't get it from a woman of his age. You just don't know. Every woman is different. Some women may be freaky like that. Some women may be into some freaky role play. Some are not. It all depends who you meet and who's into that kind of stuff. It's not only just 19 or 20-year-old. And I'm just assuming that's why Shannon is dating younger women and not women of his age. I don't know. I'm not in his head, but it's just disgusting to me. It's just sick. That's like, for me, that's like dating my father. You know what I mean? I can't even imagine dating a 50-year-old if I was 19 or 20. It's like we wouldn't have anything in common. All I'm thinking about is just clubbing and just going out and hanging out with my girls and experimenting things and just trying to have fun, basically. Not to just date someone because they have money. And maybe that was her angle from this whole time. She knew that he had money. She knew that he was a former NFL football player, and he has a podcast or something like that. Maybe she slipped a DM or whatever, how they connected in a gym or whatever. And she just knew. She just said, jackpot. He's going to pay for my expenses. He's going to do all this for me. And I don't have to do OnlyFans that much. You know what I mean? And that should have been a red flag to him. Like, you're talking to a woman that's on OnlyFans who sells her body for sex. That should have been a red flag. He should have just left. But he didn't. And look what happened to him. He lost everything, I believe. He lost a good gig in ESPN. He lost that $100 million contract. He had to settle $20 million to his ex-girlfriend, Gabby. To me, he lost. You know what I mean? When people warn him. And I want you to take a listen to the video of Cat Williams and Monique warn Shannon about dating young women. So take a listen. Let's see. Whoops, I'm sorry. Let's start all over. Okay. Let's see. I don't know why this. There we go. Now we're cooking.
Woman, because I was scared she might have me running down the street like Jonathan
There
Majors.
you go, think I'm old, cat.
Not because I didn't like white women. I think white women are as great as any other women. But I'm not going to act like I'm not scared of them. I have a reason to be scared. You could be Kang the Conqueror, and they could take your rabbit ass down in 2 weekends.
That's
And
it.
that's the truth of the matter. So I stayed away from that.
This is your auntie talking to you. Take your old ass and get you an old bitch out there that can love you old. You're trying to hang out with these young bitches, and you can't do it, Shannon. You just can't do it.
Just can't
They
do
want
it.
you to go for the 4th round. You looking at her like, bitch, listen, I need you. You want some money to go to Starbucks? Yeah. Because I can't go no further. But if you get your older girl, when you get to that 4th round, she's going to say, hold on. Let me go get you some eggs and cheese and some toast with apple butter, because that's going to get your energy back up. I'm talking right to you. Shit. So he was doing, I was going to be scared. Yes, I'm talking. And I know old gal, she'd be good to you. Her name is Elladora.
He should have listened. If he would have listened to them, none of this would have happened. He would have had his ESPN job. He would have had that $100 million contract. And life would have been good for him. I just hope that it's all worth it, to lose everything just for a piece of ass. Just a piece of vagina. I hope that was worth it for him, that he lost everything. Now, can he recover? Of course. any big scandal, everyone recovers, but it's just not going to be the same, in my opinion. It's never going to be the same. I just hope and pray that he learned a valuable lesson with all this, because what happened, him having sex and it went live on Instagram, and he said that was a mistake. He didn't know that it was playing record and stuff like that. ESPN forgave him. They forgave him, and they moved forward with the whole big scandal. And now this, the ESPN said, no, we can't handle this anymore. It's just too much. It's too much. You need to get your shit together. I'm just saying, you know. And it was just too much for ESPN. They don't want the whole backlash. You know what I mean? They have a reputation to protect, and they care about more their reputation than keeping Shannon Sharpe and ESPN. And I don't feel bad for him. I don't, because he was warned, and hopefully this will be a valuable lesson to him. Date women your own age, because you're handsome, you're attractive, black man that works out, that you're very physique. You can have any women you want. You're rich. So stay away from the 19, 20-year-olds, because they don't love you, they don't want you, they just want your money, and they just want to ruin your reputation and take every penny that you got. So hopefully that's a valuable lesson for Shannon Sharpe. Moving on now. Gina Hung. Now, anyone don't know who Gina Hung is, she's the ex-girlfriend of Sean Diddy Combs, victim number 3. Now, apparently, she wrote a letter to the judge pleading Sean Diddy Combs' case. As you know, Sean Diddy Combs was found not guilty of 3 counts and 2 guilties of 2 counts, and he's waiting for sentencing in October 3rd. And Sean Diddy Combs and his lawyer are pleading with the judge, saying that he should be released. He should be released with bond and stay in his Miami or New York home while the sentencing happens on October 3rd, and the judge is not having it, okay? The judge is not having it. And now his ex-girlfriend, Gina Hung, is writing a letter and pleading his case that he should be released because he's just an honorable man. He has changed, and he has not done anything violent towards me. That's what she said in the letter. And I'm like, come again? Because I remember back in 2019 when she was in Tasha K doing an interview, she said allegedly that Diddy beat her, punched her in the face, in the head, and stuff like that. Was that all a lie? I don't know. I'm going to read this letter to you, but when I read it, I felt like it was being coerced. I feel like this letter she was forced to write this letter, because it doesn't make any sense. The video that she did on Tasha K on 2019 didn't make any sense to me either, unless she's lying. But again, I just have this funny feeling that she was forced to send this letter to the judge. She probably was threatened. That's just my suspicions of it. And that's what I believe. But I'm going to read the letter to you, the entirety of it. She says, the letter says, Dear Your Honor, my name is Virginia Hung, and I'm writing as a person identified as victim number 3. In this case, I have known Sean Combs for many years in both personal and professional capacity. From that experience, I have seen him primarily as a father, a family man, and a businessman, roles that I have always strived to uphold. I provide this letter to share my observations about his character and to respectfully request that the court permit his release on bond while the cases proceed. I acknowledge and respect that Mr. Combs stands accused, and that the court must weigh public safety and integrity of the legal process. At the same time, I believe it is important to the court to have full picture of who he is beyond the allegation. Our relationship, like many, was not always perfect. We experienced ups and downs, and mistakes were made, but he was willing to acknowledge his mistakes and make better decisions in the future. Over the years that follow, he made visible effort to become a better person and address the harm that he caused. By the time our relationship ended, he embodied an energy of love, patience, and gentleness. that was markedly different from his past behavior. To my to my to my knowledge, he has not been violent for many years, and he has been a committed to being a father first. Now, stop right there. I don't believe it for a second. Again, I believe she was forced to write this. Um, this is all a bunch of bullshit. I'm I'm sorry. This is all a bunch of bullshit. It doesn't make any sense. And yeah, someone told her to write this to the judge on her behalf. Because you have to keep in mind she was supposed to testify against Sean Diddy Combs, but she turned out to be MIA. She turned out to be gone in the wind. Okay, she was supposed to testify against Sean Diddy Combs, and now you're trying to tell us, the people, that he has changed, that you haven't seen any sorts of violence towards him. Okay, continue on. I'm writing because I do view Sean. Excuse me. I'm writing. I'm writing because I do not view Mr. Combs as a danger to me or to the community. This is his first criminal case. Throughout the investigation and proceeding, he has been cooperating, respectful, and compliant. He has substantial ties to his family and community, including children who depend on him for emotional and financial support. Granting him bond would allow him to continue caring for his family and fulfilling his responsibilities while still subject to the court supervision. I want to assure the court that if released, I believe Mr. Combs will comply to all the conditions imposed and will not jeopardize his freedom, his freedom of the well-being of his family. Allowing him to be at home will also support the hearing process for all involved. I respectfully ask that you consider these factors when deciding his eligibility to a release. Thank you for your time and your consideration. Respectfully, Virginia Hung. And she goes by Gina. This letter, it just seems so coarse. It seems so, yeah, coarse. She can't believe that that he's not in danger to the community. Even Cassidy said it. Even the stylist who styled Cassidy, he even said it. He even wrote a letter to the judge. And I don't think for 1 second the judge believed this, okay? Shawnee DeCombe is a menace to society. He's a danger to the community and to other people who has testified against him. What changed? Because she even said it on an interview that he hit her. Was that a lie? You was going to testify against him, but you were MIA. Was that a lie? Like, which is it? What to believe? Like, I don't know what to believe, to be honest with you. Is she telling the truth, or was she lying from the get-go? Like, which is it? Did he abuse you? Did he hit you, or did he not hit you? Were you coerced to write this letter? Because it seemed like you was. It seemed like he was. It seemed like he probably threatened you, or he gave you more money for you to say this to the judge. And I can just tell you right now, and I'm not in the judge's head, the judge is not going to release Sean Diddy Combs. That's just my feeling that I'm getting, and I could be wrong, but I guarantee you, Sean Diddy Combs is going to sit in jail until October 3rd. Okay, we're already in August. He got another month to go. What month won't kill him? It won't kill him. So he might as well stay until August, September, and October. October 3rd, then he would have said he's not going to be released. That's just my feeling that I'm getting. So this letter is just really not relevant. It just I wouldn't say the judge don't care because again, I'm not in his head and I don't want to put words in his mouth, but the judge is not going to release Sean Diddy Combs, okay? He's going to sit in jail until October 3rd because I feel like the judge feels like Sean Diddy Combs is a menace to society. He's a danger to the community, and this is all word salad talk. This is all word salad. But I want you to listen to Gina's interview with Tasha K on 2019 and hear what she has to say in her own words. And you can be the judge if she was lying or she was just telling the truth. Take a listen to what she has to say.
Caught me texting another man. We were in his closet and he like pushed me and I fell to the ground. He like stood over me. He avoided my face, but he like started punching me like on the side of my head and I was just like covering my face. He like stomped on my stomach, like took the wind out of my breath. I couldn't breathe, pleading to him like, can you stop? And he like stopped for a little bit. He like grabbed my hair from the back and like was like punching the back of my head.
She also claims that she was pregnant with his child in 2014.
You mind telling me what happened with that pregnancy?
He was like, you're gonna get an abortion, right? I was like, I don't know yet. And then he offered me $50,000 to get rid of it, but I turned it down because I just loved him.
So this is the man that didn't hurt her. That was not violent towards her. That did not beat her. Like she said in the letter, they had problems. They had ups and downs. But she's trying to apply that there was no violence during their relationship when clearly there was. She said it in her own mouth. Now, was she lying? Was she telling the truth? I don't know. I don't even know what to make of this in this letter. Like I said, I don't believe that letter for a second. I believe that someone pressured her, forced her, or she got paid to say this and to give it to the judge. Okay, and I want to show you another clip of CNN, what CNN said about Gina Hung, that the letter that I just read to you. But I just want you to listen to what the reporter had to say. Let's go. There we go.
From prosecution witness to writing a letter for the defense. One of Sean Combs' ex-girlfriends, Gina, has written a letter to the judge asking for him to be released on bail ahead of his sentencing. Now, as you all know, Sean Combs is set to be sentenced on October 3rd, but his defense team has asked for him to be released on bail. They have even submitted a motion asking the judge to fully acquit him or to give him a new trial. Here is part of what Gina wrote to the judge, quote, "Our relationship, like many, was not always perfect. We experienced ups and downs and mistakes were made, but he was willing to acknowledge his mistakes and make better decisions in the future." She goes on to say, quote, "To my knowledge, he has not been violent for many years, and he has been committed to being a father first. I am writing because I do not view Mr. Combs as a danger to me or to the community." Now, you all know that Cassie Ventura was the star witness in the case. Well, she actually had written a letter to the judge saying that she does believe that Sean Combs is a danger to the community and that she would fear for her own safety if he were to be released ahead of sentencing. But let's get back to Gina for a minute. Here's where things get really interesting. Back in 2019, she spoke to YouTuber Tasha K, and she said that Sean Combs had physically assaulted her.
He started like punching me like this, like he avoided my face, but he like started punching.
Okay, so we already listened to that, but you get my drift. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense. That's why I'm like, I don't know what to believe. But you guys can make your own assumption and let me know what you think of it, what you make of this. That now she wants him to be released, that he's not a danger to the community. When Cassidy wrote a letter to the judge saying that he is a danger to the community and she feared for her life, among other people who have testified against him. Maybe that's why she didn't appear in the court. That's why maybe she was MIA, because she probably was fearful that she knew in the back of her mind that Sean Diddy Combs would be acquitted with certain things. You know what I mean? Because the jury found him not guilty on 3 counts. So that's why maybe she didn't testify. Again, maybe she got threatened too. Maybe someone blackmailed her, paid her. I don't know what the case is, what happened. But now she's trying to like plead her case to the judge and say, release him. He's not violent. He's been nothing but a good father, businessman, and person, blah, blah, blah. When we all know that's a bunch of bullshit. Bunch of bullshit. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But let me know what you think. What do you think? Excuse me. comment. Let me know about this whole Gina Hung thing, Shannon Sharpe, and this whole motion of everything. And I just have to say, and I'm guilty of it myself, I've been warned about many things in my life when it comes to relationships. And in the past, I tend not to listen about it, and I tend to do what I want to do because I don't want to be told what to do. I always been rebellious in my life, in my teenage life, and younger too. And it always bite me in the ass when I didn't listen to my friends. When my friends warned me about a particular person and I didn't listen because I wanted what I wanted. And at the end of the day, it really affected me. And I paid the price for it when I could have actually just listened to my friend because they probably seen something that I couldn't see. But then I had to go through it myself when I could have just easily just listened to my friends so I didn't have to go through all the pain and heartache. But sometimes we have to learn from our mistakes and try not to make the same mistake twice. And I know that I have done that in my life, that I made a mistake and I learned from it and I tend not to do it again. But this time around that I'm older and a little bit wiser, when I get warned about something, I take it face value. I take it seriously. Like if someone's saying, this is not a good idea, Cheryl, you shouldn't do this, I'm going to not do it because again, I don't want to deal with any repercussion or any issues that is going to affect me or my family. Like, when I'm younger, I was young and dumb and stupid and I just wanted to experiment. That's one thing. But now that, I'm older and a little bit wiser, like I said, I tend to listen to the warning signs and stay away from it and stay clear from it because I don't want that. And and you guys should take that in consideration too, that you should listen to your friends, you should listen to your parents or whoever that's dear and close to you. Not saying that they're saying this because they're jealous or they don't want you to be happy or they don't want you to succeed in life. Don't think like that. Probably your friends are going to tell you that. I promise you that is not the case. Most likely, when you have a person that loves you and supports you, that warns you about a particular thing or a person because they know. They just want your best interests. They care about your best interests in heart. And they probably have more experience and they don't want you to go through what they went through. But at the same token, it's good to go through some experience as well because you learn from it. And with that, when you learn from your mistakes, hopefully you don't do it the second time or the third or the fourth time around. But when you get a little bit older, you tend not to make the same mistakes twice. You get what I'm saying? Like when you get the warning signs from someone and you know that it's not good for you, take it. Just take it. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Thank you so much for watching. That's it. And I will see you guys tomorrow.